Hey everyone, it's Kristen. So today we're going to be talking about Dazzler 12. And if you've been following along with me, you know who this is. It's Techmaster. He wanted to get revenge on Harry, Osgood, in issue 8, but Dazzler foiled his plans, so of course we knew he'd be back. So Dazzler, this first page is just kind of a recap of where Dazzler's been, what she's been up to, and it notes that she's listening to Olivia Newton-John and just explaining her powers, how she's producing this glow, and she's looking at her bills. She has a lot of bills, and unfortunately, she has no money, especially since she's been gone for quite a while, like a couple weeks. Um, so And she looks in the fridge, and apparently her fridge was on the fritz, and she didn't even know it, and her food is spoiled. So when Paul calls and invites her to dinner, she's probably ecstatic because, for one, she has no money and no food, so she gets a chance to eat. Well, and of course, also because she loves Paul, but still. Anyway, so then we have the mansion of Harry Osgood in New Jersey. And then he, of course, commutes into New York. And he has been so paranoid about Techmaster that he's hired bodyguards at his mansion and to basically be with him at all times. Like be with his family, his house, and with him at all times. So apparently, Harry's secretary and Allison do not like each other. So here they are trading insults. Yeah. Lance pretty much will hit on any woman, basically. So he's trying to get Cassandra to go out with him. So Allison goes in and asks Harry if he has any work for her, and he is a little bit irritated because he had lined up this great gig for her in issue 10 at the Flash Club, and she was a no-show because, of course, she was in outer space. But Allison, she doesn't apologize, didn't say anything because she's like, well, how am I supposed to, like, what do I even say? Because, I mean, I was in outer space. How am I supposed to explain that? No one will ever believe me. So, Harry says, call my friend Sid Starling. He owes me a favor. He might have some work for you. And Techmaster apparently has been monitoring Harry's office and his home and his car, so he knows, like, everything that's going on. So he uses, and remember, this comic book is like 1982. So he uses this invention that he invented to call Harry's friend that Harry had made lunch with and cancel as Harry. Like his invention with the touch of a button turns his voice into anyone else's voice. So he cancels so that when Harry gets there, he'll show up. So Allison goes to Sid, and the only thing he has for her right now is at the opening of a burger joint. So she goes, and because it's better than nothing. It's still a paying gig. So she goes to dinner with Paul, and what she doesn't realize is that Paul has invited his boss, Dr. Salone, and his wife to dinner with them. And Allison, she's a little bit nervous, as anyone would be. I mean, they haven't been on a date in a while because she's been gone. Um, and of course, it's his boss, so of course you want to impress the boss. And so they ask Allison what she does, and she's like, "Oh, I'm a singer." And they're like, "Oh, kind of." They're a little bit stuck up, like, "Oh, because being a doctor to them, of course, is super important, and like a singer is like way beneath being a doctor." And so Allison accidentally spills her drink on Dr. Salone. And so basically, Paul jumps up and says, I'm sorry, you don't have to excuse Allison. She's pretty tired, and I think we're gonna, go ahead and go. So they do, and Allison just says, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm not, I'm sorry that I'm, just a singer and I'm not refined. but if I wasn't who I am, then you wouldn't love me. So anyway, he's like, yeah, well that's true. And he apologizes for having their first dinner in a while be with his boss. And he jokes, he didn't really want that promotion anyway. So at the end of at the end, they seem to be in good spirits by the last two panels. And then Paul says, oh, he has to get going because he has a shift at the emergency room. So he leaves, but then you look on his face and it's kind of like contemplative. Like he's not sure that Dazzler's really the one for him because, he feels like he needs someone. I mean, just their lives are so different. But Allison is blissfully unaware and she's just happy and she loves Paul. Anyway, so she gets a phone call from Techmaster pretending to be Sid Sterling saying he has a gig for her. So she goes and is taken to this automated factory that produces sound transduction equipment, converting sound into light. And it's like, oh, wouldn't you know? Allison's thinking, well, I'm pretty familiar with that. So these are used in, rock shows, and it says space shuttles, new uses being discovered every day. So she goes into the control room, and there's Techmaster, and Allison is taken back at first because she's like, "Ooh, does he know who I am? Does he know that I'm the one that saved Harry?" But apparently, it doesn't seem like he does, and he wants instead the secret to how she, converts sound into light or how her light show in her act. He wants the secret of that. And she's like, I'm sorry, I'm sworn to secrecy. I can't tell you. Which, basically, she doesn't want anyone to know she's a mutant. And he's like, well, so what is it? Like micro transducers or whatever? Like, you must tell me. Like, I will pay anything. And she again says, no, I can't. So he tries to, basically intimidate her into telling him, crushes this steel paperwork weight. He's like, fine, well, I will be back. I have a lunch engagement to get to, and I will be back and we'll discuss this further. And so he leaves her locked in this soundproof booth. And basically, Dazzler turns on her handy dandy radio to, try to get sound. Because it's talked about in a later issue that she can't, unfortunately, like by her singing, she can't use that to make light, use her powers. So otherwise it'd be super easy and she wouldn't need a radio. But yeah, she clarified that yeah, she can't use her own power or her own voice, her own singing in order to, use her powers. Use that sound to fuel her powers. So anyway, um, Techmaster shows up to the lunch that Harry, was thinking he was going to meet his friend. And, Harry's like to his body, looking at his bodyguard, and his bodyguard's like, it's fine, I'll take care of it. And pulls out a gun, and Techmaster crushes it. And basically, Techmaster says, you need to come with me. If you don't come with me, your family is going to die. I've planted bombs underneath your home. And Harry's like, but you're going to kill me anyway, right? And he said, yeah, I am. But do you want your family to go with you? So either you can come with me now and basically I'm going to kill you, or you can, we'll do this later and I'll still kill you, but I'll also kill your family. So Dazzler keeps trying to get the door open of this locked soundproof room. And she finally manages to do so just as Harry and Techmaster come back. And Techmaster is kind of telling him a little bit about the factory. Basically, his plan is to throw him into the lasers and basically have them, disintegrate him and stuff, like kind of and stuff like that. Yeah, so Dazzler hides because she's not sure, what's going on, what's gonna happen, or if she should, pop out at the moment. So basically, Techmaster dangles him over the railing, and Dazzler is like, leave him alone. She has to act because Harry is about to go over the edge. Oh, and Harry mentions, you know, you can't do this. A lot of people saw us at the restaurant. They saw us leave together. And Techmaster's like, I have a whole new life set up. Like this, I've been plotting my revenge for years now. So once, I get my revenge on you, then I'll go off blissfully onto my new life. So basically, he's going to leave the country. So, um, Dazzler stops him and Techmaster's like, how did you do that without your like equipment? Because of course he still doesn't know that it's just her that's doing it. He's like, I must have your secret now more than ever. And so she tries to blind him again, and he throws her against, some equipment. She tries to turn on her radio, and he crushes it. She uses whatever she has in there, like she sprays him with foam, like fire extinguisher foam, throws the fire extinguisher at him, dodges his punches. Um, she did punch him, but I mean, of course, she's saying, ow, that really hurt my hand. So, obviously he's dazed a little bit, but not much. And then she uses her purse to whack him, which it makes me think of, all those movies and cartoons where the little old lady has that, huge purse and she uses to whack another character. It's pretty funny. I mean, I guess it's pretty effective. I mean, some of those purses are super heavy. I mean, my purse, it's pretty little. I try to keep it little. And even then though, when I'm digging for something in my purse, like I can't find it. It's super annoying. Like I need a purse that has apparently more pockets, like more like sectioned places, so I can put my keys here, you know, wallet here, and just makeup here, just whatever. I mean, it's so annoying. I mean, guys, and okay, in girls' clothes also, our pockets like are not real pockets. They're like super shallow. So like even if guys are like, oh, well, you don't need to carry a purse, you can just carry your phone, your wallet, your keys in pockets like we do. No. Our pockets are like super shallow and they will not hold hardly anything. So, anyway, so we have to carry a purse, basically. Unfortunately, especially since we also have like makeup and stuff. And yeah. Anyway, sorry, I got off on a tangent. So she hits him with her purse again. He almost goes over the railing, but Harry saves him and pulls him up. And basically, that's it. Techmaster says, fine, you know what, we're even. Like, I won't bother you again. You saved my life. We're even. And so Harry turns to Dazzler and says, are you okay? And she's really mad at him because she's like, it seems like the only time you care about me is when I'm saving your life. And she's like, you know that I'm immune. And so did you ever think that my powers come with, their own challenges? You just, and basically she kind of storms off and says, maybe Sid will find some more work for me. And then she comes back and says, Harry, I'm sorry. And he says, I'm sorry. And they make up and right off into the sunset. Like Harry says, let's go find you, the stardom you deserve. So anyway, I mean, like I said, it had to happen. Techmaster had to come back, of course, because he didn't get his revenge. And so, um, like I said, I think the cover's pretty cool. Them showing Techmaster, of course, ruined what it was about. I mean, of course, if you open the comic book and start looking, it's no secret. But it just, you know, the light that failed, that didn't really kind of happen in here. I guess the whole her you know, Walkman breaking or whatever. So that's what they're calling the light failed. Anyway, so the cover doesn't exactly match up, but that's kind of par for the course. A lot of the covers, especially now with variant covers, they don't match what's on the inside. They're just there to try to grab your attention and sell the comic book, which I admit it works. I've done it. Even though like I saw a cover that I liked online and I was like, "Ooh, I really like that cover." And then of course the cover has nothing to do with what's on the inside, but I bought it for the cover. So I'm definitely guilty of that. But anyway, so I hope you will join me for the next issue of Dazzler. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen because there wasn't really a cliffhanger or at the end it just says um Dazzler wanted for murder. So they're probably talking about when she murdered Claw, but again, that's like a secret top secret government installation kind of thing, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. So, until next time. Bye.